I just want to first of all welcome you to Mimi Meets. I'm Movie Mad Mimi, as you know.
Yes.
Yeah, I know everyone's kind of partying in India right now.
Oh, yes. Yes, things are really crazy over here. I've been watching people, posting videos and posting their pictures on Holi. But unfortunately, I could not go out on Holi also because I was sick and I'm setting up my new house. I've shifted to Bombay finally. So I was busy setting up. And yeah, so Holi was a little bit lonely for me, but works. So how is it for you?
I'm in London, so it's not as kind of rowdy here, but it was really quiet. And so I've just been kind of looking at everyone's Instagrams of everyone in India having a great time, and I'm just getting really jealous at everyone's pictures.
Oh yeah, same here.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, I'm experiencing major FOMO.
Especially on the festivals, especially on the festivals, you feel homesick. You want to be with your family, friends. So yes, I get it.
I know, yeah, so completely. But I'm actually I've just mainly been at home watching Undekhi, as you know. I've just loved Undekhi. And I loved how they introduced Muskan in season 1, where she was more of the sort of the guest of the Advals, but now she's that integral Choti Bahu of the Advals, which I just love. And so how have you been taking it all in?
Funnily enough, they used to call me Choti Bahu on the set. Ashish sir used to call me Choti Bahu whenever I used to enter. So yes, I have been getting a lot of messages. They're all in my DMs. A lot of people have been putting their stories for Muskan, Rinku, Lucky, and for everyone. It's been great. The response has been great. I've never actually experienced this before. So for me, it is new. I still don't know how to take that all in, all that attention in. So yes, I'm very overwhelmed by the response, and that people are loving it. That's the most important thing. That, all this hard work has paid off. People have loved it. So for me, Muskan's journey has been it's been a total change in the second season, as everyone can see it. Yes, I was a guest first and became a Bahu. I was a girlfriend and then and then a part of the family. So yeah, it has been very very different for me, a very different change for me also, because Undekhi was my first project, and it has always been special it will always be special in my journey. So yes.
Yeah, well, we'll talk more about Undekhi in a bit, but as a way to start things off, I wanted to ask you actually a kind of a movie mad question, which I love to ask everyone that comes on. So what's the first film that made you fall in love with cinema?
So there are two different answers to this question. The first film, we used to watch Andaz Apna Apna.
Oh yeah.
And Jaane Bhi Do Yaro a lot with my, I used to watch it with my family when we were at home, when we were kids. So my father used to make me watch all these movies, especially he is a big Amitabh Bachchan fan. So yes, we grew up watching all those movies. And when I decided to be an actor, I watched Tamasha, and I decided that, okay, now I need to talk to my father after watching that movie. So that movie is really very special in my life. It will always hold a very special place in my life. So Tamasha, I would say.
And so that inspired you in a way to become an actor?
Oh yes, it has played a big role, because I still remember that moment. I was watching it in a theater. I was with my Masi and few friends. I was crying my eyes out because I related to it. I was pursuing theater at that time in Delhi, and I related to it so much. I decided at that moment that, okay, after leaving the theater, I have to talk to my father. I have to tell him that I want to become an actor. I want to pursue this. So yes, it has played a major role. And I wish I could tell this thing to Imtiaz Ali as well. Whenever I get to meet him, I would definitely want to share this with him.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a beautiful, beautiful story. I'm sure he would love to hear it. So I wanted to ask you next, how did the journey of Muskan begin for you?
So, of course, I auditioned for it. As all of us do, we audition for it, we forget about it. We don't know whether it'll work for us or not. So I was just given the brief of the character. I did not really know what the story is going to be about, just a gist of it. And of course, the makers, Siddharth sir, our director Ashish sir, they loved the audition, they loved it. And I went on to meet him. He briefed me about what Muskan is going to be, that and what she will be, what she is now and what she will be in the second season. And I love that idea because, I love those characters who go through a 360-degree change, that they were someone else when they entered, and then they become somebody else because of the circumstances, because of whatever issues they are facing in their lives. So I love that. And yes, then it happened. Muskan happened for me. And during the first season, I did not really have much to do in it. But whatever scenes I got, I was more than thankful for them, because I danced, I sang, I had an emotional scene with Rinku. And in the second season, of course, everyone can see that, she changed. Muskan changed. She became a right-hand person for Rinku. She was always there whenever he needed support, whenever he needed a shoulder, she was always there. I also grew with Muskan, with the character. As Shivangi, I grew with that character, and I could understand her better in the second season. So yes, she changed a lot in me as well. And I have said this to somebody, I don't remember to who, but I said this, that life has come full circle for me when I did second season. So,
yeah.
Yes, so many memories coming back.
That's so beautiful. And actually, if I could say, I remember just now the singing, I was just rewatching it. And when you're singing in season 1, when you're singing at the family function. Yeah, that Ghana. Oh my God, I love that. And it's so surreal because everything is like they're running in the jungle. Rishi and Koil are all running in the jungle, and there's you just on the stage. And I just love that scene. It's so surreal. It stood out so much for me in season 1. And in season 2, you're 100% right. Like your 360 turns. Rinku, he's such a commanding presence in the entire 2 seasons. And I think you match him equally with that amount of gravitas as well, because and it's like, I think you guys are just like so perfect on screen, like together. You gel so well. And I just love like how she's not a victim. She tells him like if she's not feeling anything, she's like, no, I'm not scared of you, Rinku. And I just love how she says that. And so speaking of which, I love the women of Undekhi. Like there's you, there's Anchal, there's Apeksha, there's Ayan, and then there's Meenakshi ji, and then there's Shivani ji. All of these women are so great and so memorable, and I just love that. So tell me like your experience about working with the women of Undekhi.
So of course, all of these people, the people that you've named, are seniors. They've worked so much in the industry. They've been working, and they've been doing such good work. Anchal has worked on Ye Kali Kali Aankhein, and such good performances they've given. So me being a junior, I had so much to learn from them. So much to learn from how they act when they're on set, how they present themselves. So yes, for me, it was a big lesson. Whenever I was around them, I always used to observe them. And as for women on the show, it was always, so Ashish sir wanted to, make it somehow a women's show now, that women are taking the charge, which happened. That women are taking the charge. Teji is taking the charge. Muskan is somewhere, holding the guns and firing wounds. It was happening. And Apeksha Koil is taking her revenge. So that was happened, and that happened, and it came out so beautifully. Women played a major role in the show, definitely, and yeah, they were actually walking shoulder to shoulder with the men, and even better.
Yeah. And that's why it stood out so well. Like, I mean, I was just loving the women. Like, they're so feisty and sassy, and I just loved what they offered. Like, they're not just there like in the background like we've seen before in other things. And I love that about Undekhi. Like, it just stood out, and you kind of like just feel so happy when that happens. And so I love like how Muskan is, like, especially in season 2. You kind of gave me like, Rasika Dugal in Mirzapur. You kind of gave me like Beena Tripathi vibes, and I just love that. You did.
That is such a huge compliment. Oh my God, I'm so grateful. Yeah, I mean, how often do you see a wife, firing goons with a husband? Often do you see that?
I love that scene, like when you and Rinku are like almost like being fired at, and you both like, you go and get the gun from the car, and you're like, I'm not
a machine gun.
And I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. What I love about Muskan is she's just as morally unhinged as Rinku is, because like they're both the same. They both have the same kind of ethics, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And I think that's what I love. So how is it working with Surya?
It was, in 2 words, I would say it was effortlessly easy. He, of course, we've all seen he's a phenomenal actor. We've all seen that on screen. But more than that, he's very aware, on set. And that was a great learning for me, that he knows what is the need of the hour, what he is supposed to do in those scenes. And he's really present over there. As actors, we have this dreamy idea that you can be in your own zone, and you actually disappear from the moment, you actually disappear from that scene. But he's there. He's very present over there. He knows technicalities. He is very aware of the. So there were moments when I used to forget my, I had something, the props, I had something in my hand, and I used to forget it. And he used to tell me, okay, you had something in your hand. Can you take that? So, yes. So I would say that he's very aware. Apart from being a great actor, he's actually very present, and I would love to do that and have that in me as well.
Wow. Yeah, and I think that even in Ye Kali Kalyanke, he has that sort of like brooding present where like there's something going on in his mind. And so I wanted to ask you actually a bit about like filming, like, because you guys filmed in such beautiful locations. So how was that experience?
So it was actually pleasant during the second season. It was not freezing. There was some locations where we went and there was snowfall over there, but that was also very pleasant to look at. During the first season, actually, there were times, and I reached on set very late. So these guys went, ahead, and they were shooting already. I reached quite late. So yes, it was freezing. It was cold, but the mountains. We shot in the mountains, and that chaos you have, it's so pleasant, it's so calm over there. And I love shooting in mountains. I shot for Candy in Nainital. So yes, I hope the mountains keep calling me back. I would not mind freezing. I would not mind that snowfall. I would love to shoot again.
Absolutely stunning as well. Like the way it came out, like the jungle scenes, I love, and the resort. Oh my goodness! Can we just talk about that resort and the wedding? Oh my God, the wedding is just so beautiful. Like the tents, and both times, actually both seasons, Teji's wedding and Muskan's wedding, both are like, wow. So I want my wedding personally. I would like my wedding to kind of like be like that. So
you can go to Manali for sure for that. Yeah, I would love to marry in Manali. Yes.
I think it's a lovely destination wedding, I think, place.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
It was lovely. And the show also looks very rich because of the locations, because of the mountains. It looks so rich. I mean, yes.
I just love that. Like that's what I love. Like because the locations are real. Like it's not just a set. They're real life locations that I would love to visit. And so hopefully, yes, next time that's on my list. Definitely, Manali is on my list.
Of course, Himachal.
Yes.
Anywhere in Himachal, I would say anywhere in Himachal.
I know. Yeah.
Such lovely locations.
Absolutely stunning. It's like a postcard. It's just so beautiful.
I can tell you all the places you can visit and the cafes. We explored all the cafes during these shoots. We've explored each and every cafes, waterfall, and the mountains in all. We've explored everything because we were there for 30 days, I think. And
yeah, I think I'll ask you for a list of like great sites to visit and everything.
Definitely. We'd love to do it for you.
Yeah, oh, thank you. But I wanted to actually ask you more about like, speaking of scenes, like, are there any scenes that kind of stood out to you, like whilst shooting, or like your experiences whilst shooting a scene?
One of the scenes that really stood out, and for everyone, I feel that everyone, you yourself said that the shooting scene, of course, it was, for me, why it stood out was because I did not practice with the gun. That was my first time I picked up a gun.
Wow.
And
such a natural.
I know, right? So for me, that, and I've always felt like I am the eldest one in my family, and I've always felt like I need to protect. And I have two siblings, two brothers. I felt like I have to protect these people. I am their eldest sister. I need to take care of them. So that came out when I was doing that scene. I need to protect this man. This man is my life. I can't let anything happen to this man. So yes, for me, that scene is really special. And even throughout the whole shoot, throughout every scene was that, that this man is my life. I need to know what is going on in his head, what is troubling him. I need to know, and I need to take away his problems. I need to be there for him.
Yeah.
So yes, for me, every scene was that important, and I really hope that I did justice to that.
Oh, you did, honestly. I love that scene. If I could say, I mean, that scene where after that kind of shootout happens and Lucky comes in and kind of like takes you in the car and you're like, no, turn back around. And the way you kind of tell Lucky, no, turn back around. I need to go to
I need to save my man.
Towards that season finale, when you kind of come in and first thing you see is Coil and Rinku, you're like, no, Coil, you stay away. And you go,
that is my man, don't you jump him.
I love how you go straight there. You're like, no Coil. And I just love that. Such a great season finale. I mean, there's just so much tension there. You're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then, but I'm so glad they've like kind of kept Muskan. Like I was so scared. Like I was like, please don't shoot Muskan. Like, like towards the end, like of season finales, you always think that something bad's going to happen to a character. And my first reaction was like, please don't let it be Muskan or Teji. I just love those two. And I was praying that it wasn't going to be, but then Coil, I equally was like so upset about, because Coil, I just loved Coil in season 1 and 2, and I just love a picture. Yes. Obviously, like with Muskan and Teji are still around, so we're gonna hopefully see a season 3. You can tell like she's the bahu that they've always wanted. Like they didn't actually like the Teji so much, so like Papa Ji's always kind of complimenting Muskan, and so is like Daman's mom is
Mummy
Ji, Mummy Ji is like kind of jealous that she doesn't have.
Yeah, it's like she fits, she fits in that weird family. That already twisted family. She fits so well.
She's actually more loyal to the Atwals than Teji will ever be, I would say. Like, because yeah, you're right, she fits perfectly into that family. And the way, like, when they planned the honeymoon, like Muskan comes up with the idea, let's go on a honeymoon.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, wow, like Muskan, he starts throwing the money. It's just so funny. Like, and he's like, yeah, girl, see the ethi lagi. And he's like, just kind of like falls back. It's so funny. Like, so that's what I loved, especially this time around with Muskan. It's kind of that character arc has developed so incredibly well. And so I just hope there's going to be season 3 and we get to see more and more of Muskan, because she's so, I love how menacing she is, because I just love like that sort of like, there's deliciously wicked characters, and I just think Muskan is one of those deliciously wicked characters. And yeah.
Oh yeah, she is twisted. She's a freak.
I love it. I love the twisted characters, can I say? I just love them more than anyone else. And also she's kind of like a forest ranger's daughter, so she's kind of like always, she knows how to like kind of work her way around. She's not kind of like threatened by anything.
She's been around. She knows her way with the guns. She's been there.
And that explains why she's not scared of anything. Like she's been around that her whole life. Her dad must have kind of like,
she's seen that. She's grown up watching, she's grown up watching all the business that Atwals run. So yeah, she's not scared of a lot of things, and that was my aim. That I need to be a part of this.
Yeah,
I cannot be scared. I cannot be. I need to be Muskan. I need to switch that thing of that this is wrong. I need to switch that button off. That this is wrong. For her, this is right. This is her life. This is what she's watched all her life.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the thing is, her name is so polite, and she's got such a lovely name. But it doesn't really fit.
This we need to give it to the writers.
And it just kind of like, it's kind of like the opposite of what she kind of does. And she's so pyara sa naam hai Muskan.
And she's always smiling throughout the show, throughout first season. If you see, she's always smiling.
I know.
She's dancing, singing.
And I just,
and then cut to firing guns.
Yeah, I love that. When you see Muskan in season 2, like when she kind of tells Rinku, like on the engagement day, like you go, I'll take care of like, go and take care of what you need to. And when the truck goes missing, of course, and then you kind of like,
I'll take charge over here.
Yes, you take charge and you kind of handle like the mummijis. And so I love the like sort of the wedding sequence as well, when the song is just so beautiful. It just captures the entire wedding, and I'm like, I'm just so touched by that song. Absolutely beautiful. Like and I'm thinking like, what I would love to see like the actual official wedding video of Rinku and Muskan. I'm just thinking, was there actually a wedding video that was made like separately? Like I would love to kind of see that.
We'll send it to you. I feel that we should send a video to you.
On YouTube you see all those wedding films that people put up. I just thinking like, I need to see Teji and Damans, and I want to see Muskan and Rinku.
We should ask the makers to actually send it and put it on YouTube or put it on the channels. I still remember that after both the weddings, first season and second season, we danced as in there was a party after shooting those wedding scenes, and we danced. The ADs, the whole crew, cast, everyone. We had a gala time that time. So yes, we had an amazing time during these scenes.
Yeah, no, that's what I love. Like even like in season 1, I know what happens with the dancer like is kind of like whoa, but like the actual wedding, it just feels like actually like you're there. Like I felt like I was a guest at the wedding. Like I felt so engrossed and involved in that wedding, if that makes sense. I felt like I wanted to be a guest at this Atwal wedding because it's so elegant. And like, what's happening, what's really funny is like all these bad things are happening around such an elegant backdrop.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is the beauty of the show, that, something really beautiful is happening, and at the same time you show murders, you're showing the run and chase. Yeah. So yes, I think that is the that is the two sides of the show, and that is what we tried to capture. So yes.
And you guys did it so well. Like, I'm just like thinking, like, I'm like, the part of me thought, like, what if I've been to a wedding where this sort of stuff is happening on the side and I haven't got a clue, and I'm just there to enjoy a wedding, and you just
yes, you never know.
You're just oblivious to it. You're just a wedding guest. And but I wanted to ask you actually next, like OTT, like is kind of my favorite space at the moment. And so as somebody like who's worked in OTT, what are your thoughts on OTT in general?
For me, I am really grateful for these platforms, because for actors like me, we've found work.
Yeah.
And we've actually been part of such big shows. We've been telling such good stories, and that is only because of these OTT platforms, because of all these stories that are happening, that are shown. So me, for one, I'm really grateful that we now have OTT platforms. We now have so many stories, so much stuff happening that we don't really have to wait around for the next project to happen. So and of course, we're so free. There's so much freedom in the OTT platforms, and also now we can explore. We can explore more. If so, say for example, the films are only 3 hours, maximum 3 hours long.
Yeah.
You'll just see the story. Where the story, what are the plots, you'll just see that. But in these shows, you can actually see for example, Muskan, you can actually see the characters grow.
Yeah.
We have such an arc. I had an arc that I'm running from, I ran from my home, and then I ended up becoming a bahu who was firing guns, who became an atwal. You rarely see that in movies.
Yeah. 100%.
So for actors, I feel OTT is the best platform. Having said that, I would still love to work in movies. I would still love to.
Hopefully for Imtiaz Ali one day.
Yes, hopefully. So yes, for people like us, because we can explore the characters. We are going through all these changes, through all these arcs. So yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same. It's just such a beautiful space to explore, because like you have like 10 episodes per season, so that means 20 episodes you've already had for Undekhi, and you have that like time to kind of become like the viewer like is just so engrossed. Like I know you were on set, but like as a viewer, I became like involved in the Evolve story, and I felt like I was there, and the content that's coming out is so remarkable and so fresh. I would say it's so good.
Such amazing stories coming out.
Yeah.
And we finally paid attention to the writers, I feel. Because of OTT, we're finally paying attention to the writers.
Yes.
So that is the most important thing, and that
like
is
Siddharth,
commendable that they're doing it.
Siddharth is such an incredible writer. Like, oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Of course.
Yeah.
An amazing person, and he's so talented. I mean, he knows what he wants.
Yeah.
And of course, he's doing such amazing work already.
Especially during COVID, OTT has been my saving grace, just watching OTT. And I've made like a list in my head of all the stuff that I've loved in the last few years, and it just keeps going on and on. The list keeps getting longer.
Of course.
Yeah. And actually, I would say Inside Edge actually started my love of OTT, and you were in Inside Edge 3. You were young Zarina.
Yes.
And
yes, I was.
And you know what? Actually, I was watching when I was watching Undekhi season 1 the first time around. Actually, my brother was the first person who mentioned. He said that Muskan looks like kind of like Richa Chadha, and I'm like, and then it's so weird. Like the year later, you were playing young Zarina.
I play Richa Chadha.
Oh wow, it's so incredible, because I think Inside Edge kind of started my love of OTT like back in 2017, and then it was Mirzapur, and like as I said, Beena Tripathi in Mirzapur has been one of my favorite people, like in like favorite characters, to watch, like since OTT kind of like started it and getting big in India. I wanted to actually ask you, like as an actor, like how do you kind of get into character when you get a role? Like, is there like certain thing that you do to get in that headspace of the character?
So I feel, yes, of course, it differs with every character that you do, every character that you play. It also depends on the director, what he wants out of the character, because he definitely knows the story. He knows it better. He has a vision. So, of course, I discuss my character with the director and what he wants. So, for example, Ashish sir has a process. He'll give you the references, He'll send you some films that you need to watch. So, for Undekhi, I watch those films and I try to understand what he wants out of Muskan and how I want to portray her. So, and of course, I make a playlist for every character. So when I was playing Lena in Candy, I used to listen to Billie Eilish songs.
Oh wow!
That is the only that is the only singer that I listen to, and that is how I prepared myself. And of course, that is nothing more than the script.
Yeah,
I mean, if you know the script in and out, then I think 90% of your job is already done.
Mm-hmm.
The script is your god. The script is something that you can work on and you play the character as the writers want, as the director want. So yes, that is how my process is. And I'm still exploring, of course. I still don't have a definite process, that this is something that I need to do with every character. So it changes with every project that I'm doing, with every character that I'm playing, and I'm still learning.
An actor can have like 1,000 lives, like because like they play so many different roles, and it just kind of like amazes me, like how they get into that headspace. Like sometimes I've heard actors say like it's sometimes like they struggle to even kind of leave that character after it's done. What kind of stories would you like to now be a part of, like post Undekhi?
Of course, I want to be part of female-led dramas.
Mm-hmm.
I love crime thrillers. Stories where you get in with a different mindset and you come out as a whole different person.
Yeah.
Because you see so much during that time. Mm-hmm. So I would love to be a part of something like that, and also something that really puts me out of my comfort zone. Somewhere Muskan was that for me, that it really needed me to be a different person, to think like a different person, because that is not my world. That is not how I have grown up. But there are always some similarities, of course. There are always some similarities between you and your character. Mm-hmm. So the kind of work that I want to do is, or the kind of characters that I want to do is something where I have less similarities and a lot of differences between me and my character. So that surely needs me to get out of myself and put me in another skin, So yeah.
Oh wow!
And of course, any kind of work is a blessing. I've always been grateful for whatever work I have done. It has shaped me as a person. So yes.
I think you're so versatile. I think I could see you in so many things. Like right now, I'm just thinking, yeah, you could be in this, you could be in that. Kind of like you see so many fresh faces, and you are one of those fresh faces that I just kind of like think like that stood out for me. And I'm thinking that this is what I love about OTT. Like I'll probably tell you later, like a list of things I could probably see you in. But yeah, no,
that would be great.
You know what? I would, if I could say, I would personally love to see you in Mirzapur. I think you would be perfect in that.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Somebody, I will manifest it.
Or even like a Delhi crime. Like I love Delhi crime when it came out, and I'm hoping like when season 2 comes out, it'll just be equally as thrilling. And I love those sort of crime thrillers, as you said. Like, so I can easily picture you in that world, and I think you would be perfect. Like maybe something with Rasika Dugal would be perfect. I think you two together. And on a final note, I want to ask you, like, how was it shooting like during the pandemic? I know in season 2, especially, you shot during the pandemic, right?
I was very fortunate, and till date, I'm really thankful to God that during that time when our country was going through so much, and not only our country, the world was going through so much, and we saw so many horrible things. I was working, I did 3 projects during the pandemic, and I never had that much headspace to think what was going on was horrible, because I wanted me and my family to stay safe, and also because I was traveling. I did not want my family to get infected because of me. So of course we took all those precautions, but I was working throughout the pandemic, that it did not, I did not let it affect me that much, because I always had work on my mind. So yes, and the experience, of course, it was scary. Definitely, it was scary, because you were traveling, and you didn't want. I did some. I still remember. Every week I had to get a test done, because I was traveling from here to there, and I was skipping shoots, and I had to get a test done every week. All these projects happened during that time, and I was still working. I mean, nothing better than that. Nothing better than work.
So absolutely brave of you guys still making content for us. And I would just like to applaud that, because like without that, like I'm thinking like in COVID especially, I relied so heavily on watching, like especially during the lockdowns that happened. I was relying so much on OTT, especially Indian OTT. And you guys have been like my saving grace. Like I remember Undekhi one when it hit in 2020. I was like, oh my God, like this is so incredible. And I can't wait for a season 2. And then when season 2 was announced, I was equally excited. I just want to thank you guys for working during the pandemic and kind of entertaining us. I just know you have such a bright future, and I'm looking forward to more and more things from you. Yes, and hopefully an Imtiaz Ali thing.
Yeah.
What he did with Jab We Met, like I think Jab We Met in 2007, that changed cinema. I think Indian cinema. Like around then, like I think that was that kind of the shift that happened.
He has very different, a very different lens of showing things and his work. Yeah. So I would love to experience that and see for myself how he works. I'm really intrigued by his work.
Yeah, I love like how Kareena Kapoor was like kind of in charge there. Like,
of course,
so that's what that shift.
And a very different female character, very different female protagonist she became. And yeah, you're right. Somewhere shifted. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe someday.
Yes. I'm hoping and praying for that to happen. So, but thank you so much for doing this again. And it's been such a great conversation. So yeah.
Thank you so much for having me, Mimi. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I had an amazing time with you.
Or if I'm in Bombay or you're in London anytime. And yeah.
Definitely. Or in Manali. You never know.
Oh yes. Of course, Manali. Yeah, I'm gonna need to like have some like coffees, and you can take me to all the cool spaces, like
of course,
all the cool hangout spots in Manali. Because yeah, that would be great. Definitely. But thank you so much, and
thank you so much, Mimi. Thank you. You too. Take care.